Hello, my name is Rebecca Heinrich. I'm the director of Mother's Milk Bank here at the Rocky Mountain Children's Health Foundation, and I'd like to welcome you to Fireside Chats. Today, our very special guest is Teresa Joseph, who is our Director of Development here at the Foundation, and it seemed like this was a really good opportunity to explain to our audience that the Milk Bank is actually just one of the many programs at the Foundation. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here by the warm fire. So at the Foundation, our mission is to support newborns and pediatric patients, and really that comes in three pillars. It's nutritional, right, which is the Mother's Milk Bank, financial, and emotional. And so, like, if I were to think through sort of the programmatic point of the Foundation, financial is definitely where we spend most of our time and our money, right? So this is anything from a gas card to go see your baby in the NICU, an Uber card, a food card, maybe you've been sitting in the hospital for a long time and you just need to eat, all the way up to we're gonna help pay your rent and mortgage. You know, I mean, what we find a lot of times is these families are spending so much time at the hospital, and when you have a sick kiddo, everything shuts off, right? It's all about that sick kid. And so rent and mortgages, especially with the increase of, inflation and everything that's going on right now in the world, we just want to help take the burden off so they can just focus on what matters the most, and that's their baby, right?
Absolutely. This is financial and emotional support for families with pediatric patients, but the support is also often to help the parents help the child.
Absolutely. I mean, we find that the parents that are engaged, those kids just have better outcomes. And our emotional support is probably my favorite part of my job, because it's our dogs, right? So we have our PAWS program, which is our two therapy dogs, Posey and Lemon, and they are at Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children. And then we also have our stink bug program, and this pairs medically complex kiddos, like a variety of autism, all the way up to in a wheelchair, cannot walk, with a companion dog. I think that's the important clarification, right? So Posey and Lemon are our therapy dogs, and they're in the hospital, and our stink bug dogs are our companion dogs. You know, and we hear stories all the time, like, kid can't get outside, right? Is emotionally shut off, and then this companion dog comes into their house, and suddenly they're walking down the street, they're like meeting other kids, they're part of the neighborhood, and that's just so good for their whole family. We also see situations where a sibling is being left at home because parents have to get the other one to some kind of therapy, right? And so they now have a companion to help and support them. So it works like across the family.
Absolutely. That unconditional love from a dog, whether that's from one of our therapy dogs or from the stink bug companions,
it's just amazing.
Priceless.
It's amazing. And certainly with the Mother's Milk Bank, I mean, what you guys do to get milk into NICU babies' hands, these are just the sickest of babies, and we might be helping them on the Foundation from a financial side, and we're also making sure that they have that nutrition, right? So it's just engagement all around. It's parents feeling more engaged. It's getting the nutrition into them from an early age so that they have the best results possible.
Amazing. Could you go into a little more depth onto the patient family assistance side of things?
Yeah, so again, this is all of our financial support, right? So these are parents that are in the hospital usually for a long time, or it's a kiddo that maybe is home but is going back and forth for treatments. For example, we had a family in Wyoming, and their kid was trying to get to transplant therapies, and making sure that they were staying on top of it, and their tires were no good on their car, right? So the choice is, I take my kid in and they get the support that they need and they're able to stay on that transplant list, or I don't, right? And what's the consequences there, right? And that's a really hard decision for parents because it's a financial, and it's a burden, right? And so we were able to get 4 new tires on their car, and they were able to get down to Denver, and their child stayed on the transplant list, and you can't, there's nothing, there's no relief that comes with making sure that your child is well cared for, or we had a family recently, and baby was in the NICU for a long time, and mom wasn't going to work, and by the time baby came home and she was ready to go back to work, the job said, I think we're good, we don't need to see you anymore, and so now they have a sick kiddo at home, she doesn't have a job, they're behind on their bills, right? And so the least we can do is make sure that they have the support that they need so that they can continue to focus on that NICU baby,
Oh my goodness, so important. Can you tell me some more about the impact that Rocky Mountain Children's Health Foundation has?
Yeah, I mean, so if we're looking at the whole year, we're looking at over 10,000 pediatric patients and newborns supported, right? And that's a variety. That could be anywhere from Posey and Lemon coming in. So our therapy dogs so far through September had seen over 2,000 kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that's, you know, kiddo had surgery, doesn't want to get out of bed because it hurts, right? Well, Posey comes in and up they are walking down the hallway, which is so good. You know, it's good for everybody. And that's what that kid needs to keep going and get better and get out of the hospital. So we have them seeing them. This month alone, we've passed out over 800 toys, books, busy toys, right? Things to like keep bored kids entertained at the hospital, you know? And then let's see, our patient family services program, which is our financial aid, we're gonna serve over 2,000 families this year. So anywhere, again, like that's like gas and grocery card, it's the rent and mortgages, anything to like keep them on their feet and going. And again, it doesn't have to just be that financial, like maybe it's they need a hospital monitor to make sure that their kiddo's gonna be okay. Maybe they need a pulse ox to, you know, monitor their oxygen. So it's really, you know, it's a wide reach and we're able to support families. It's not a one size fits all support. It's really tailored to what that family needs in that moment that's gonna help them get their kid the best support.
Amazing. Teresa, since you are the Director of Development, of course the natural follow-up question here is, how does the foundation raise funds to fund all of these programs?
Great question. So our funding comes from multiple different sources. Private donors is one of our largest ones. And many times these are people who have had some kind of story or impact themselves, right? Maybe it's a grandma who watched their child go through, you know, having a NICU baby. Maybe it's a friend who supported their friend while their kid had a cancer diagnosis. So private donors are definitely a large percentage of what we get. We also get a lot of funds through corporate sponsorship. So these are corporations that are sponsoring our events, corporations that are coming in, doing gifting kinds, donating like their time, their services, their goods. We write a lot of grants. So we get a lot of funding through grants.
Yeah, no, those are all amazing sources of funding, but I think the little things are really what help us so much, is people who will do toy drives, people who will make sure that we have diapers to distribute.
For sure.
Those are enormous gifts that come from just a small step that can really have an enormous impact.
Absolutely. And you know, we had during our diaper drive, we had lots of grandparents that said, I had these diapers from, you know, when my grandkids were younger, and maybe their grandkids were healthy, right? But they were like, we want to give back, you know, and we want some way, you know, toy drives we have a Remax of Arvada is hosting a toy drive for us right now. So, you know, I mean, toy drives are awesome, especially right now during the holidays. Not only are we supporting kids who are going to be in the hospital over the holidays, but we have a program called Hope for the Holidays. And this is a very special program, and we get to sponsor a family who otherwise would not be able to have a holiday for their kiddo, right? And so we have these corporations that are donating their goods. We have corporations donating funds, right, to help go out and buy. I mean, we had one family who said, I want to have a wedding. Our baby came so early and our plans went out the window, and so how can we have a wedding? And we have people coming out of the woodworks donating dresses and bouquets and their, you know, makeup.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just such a way, you know, I mean, I think when a lot of people think development, they think money. And obviously, we're always out there asking for funds and who can give us funds and where can they come from. But I think to your point, it's the little things, right? Like, what are the things that people can do to give back? And sometimes that's time, sometimes that's energy, sometimes that's good. So we will take all of it.
Absolutely. I mean, in my world, in the milk bank, we know that every job counts. Every job can save a life, and I think that messaging is absolutely in your world too.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing that we don't talk about a lot that we would love is for people to share their stories.
Absolutely.
You know, we throw the word peer-to-peer fundraiser out a lot, right? So I think that there are, I'll take me for example. I come here because I have lived experience. My son was in the NICU for 133 days. And that story is important to me, and that story is important to our friends and family. And so Colorado Gives is going on right now. started November 1st. Colorado Gives Day is actually December 10th. And we're going to be asking for funds. In addition to funds, I think there's a lot of people who have been touched by a story. And something easy that you can do is run a peer-to-peer fundraiser. Share your story. Why is this meaningful to you? And the people that sat by you, that want to give back, that want to help, it's a great way to support the organization. If you can't give the funds yourself.
No, that's amazing. I think that's a great opportunity for people who maybe don't have the financial wherewithal, but have this emotional connection. Absolutely. To really to find the people who this also resonates with.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So Colorado Gives Day.
Colorado Gives Day is coming up. So the end of the year is huge for us, right? So Colorado Gives Day, which is happening now, starting November 1st through December 10th. And what's really cool about Colorado Gives Day is that the Colorado Gives Foundation matches donations, right? So when you make a donation, we're going to receive not an exact match, but it'll come as part of the giving. Anyone that makes a monthly donation, they're going to match your first monthly donation up to $100. So it's, if you are thinking about monthly donation, this is a really nice time to do it. And again, I think everyone's trying to, how can we give back for the holidays? What can we do? This is a great opportunity. The other way that we're talking to people about donating is through end of year giving. In September, we had our Cradling Hearts event, and we talked about the NICU nurses and what an impact they make on the tiniest patients in the hospital. And we're going to continue to tell that story. We have lots of families who come to us in the NICU. I mean, no one's planning on having a baby 2, 3, 4 months early, and so the support that they need is critical. It's vital. They need to be at their baby's bedside, and so making sure that they're fed, that they have a way to get to the hospital. These are people that are leaving their baby in the care of NICU nurses at night, and so just really wrapping them in love. And so as we roll into the end of the year, we're going to continue to tell that story. And end of year giving is just such a great way to get the foundation set up to go into 2025 ready to hit the ground running. And for whatever reason, the idea of kids spending their holidays in the hospital just resonates with so many people. So we just see people opening up their hearts during this time.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the Colorado Gives, that we've got Hope for the Holidays lined up here. Is there other ways that people can support these families at the end of the year?
Absolutely. So we mentioned the toy drives. That's going on, and it's in a couple different locations, and you can contact us directly if you want a place to drop off, and we will always accept donations here. We also have an Amazon wish list. So these are particularly for our infants and for our teenagers. I think people forget, right? Yeah. Teenagers are also kids. And, we talk about, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, babies.
Right.
But we have kids. I mean, we have some kids that were diagnosed at 7 and they're now 14, 15, 16. They've been going through this for a long time. And they're,
We want to have fun for them.
They want to have fun for them too, and theirs is different, right? They're not looking for books. They're looking for earbuds, video games. What are things that they can do in the hospital that are engaging for them, right? And I think a lot of times we forget about our teenagers and young adults.
Absolutely.
And so I think those are great ways to help support over the holidays.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to chat with you, and I really hope that everybody who's watching this checks out our website and sees what opportunities there are to help out.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I mean, I feel like we get to work so closely together in what we do, and I appreciate you bringing me on and sharing this with a new audience. And remember, Colorado Gives Day is December 10th, and you can go on our website and donate. And again, if you want to share your story, you can email us, and we would love to help you figure out how to do that.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again soon.
Okay, bye.